think we're live already. But the signal is being tested according to YouTube at stream status. Waiting for the broadcast to be published. It is a beautiful spring day and I'm live. Good day, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Sure. We all do. Welcome to my show. My name is Todd Standing. I usually say I'm the man that takes people out and shows them a Sasquatch. How about I say today, I'm the man that's filmed Sasquatch more than 8 times in very clear video. And if you don't believe, don't take my word for it. Come out with me and I'll show you the Sasquatch. That's another catchphrase I kind of like. So I'm going to start the show like I've been doing for the last few shows with some fantastic Facebook questions. I love my Facebook support people. I love the YouTube support is amazing. That's why I keep coming on here. I just the YouTube guys are absolutely amazing. I'm so grateful to be doing the show. I got a Discovering Bigfoot shirt and a Discovering Bigfoot hat. It's all camo. I'm so cool. I'm so happy about the. I'm so cool. I'm so happy about the. I feel cool. I feel cool because it's breezy outside, but I'm really happy about the merchandise. So, anyways, it's nice to finally have it. I have a full-length feature film, and hello, Amanda. Thank you so much for joining us. I know it's extremely late for you, but anyways, I have some really good questions from Facebook. So let's ask some of those questions. But that would look a lot better if I just had a little shade there, wouldn't I? Sun is out. But first question from Facebook: why not more juvenile sightings? I love this question because it pushes me to talk about things that I've been really thinking about a lot. So there aren't many juvenile sightings, and I know the sound a juvenile Sasquatch makes. I've heard it quite a few times. Quite a few times? I don't know, less than 10. But make like a whoot, whoot. It's like a drop sound. Let's see if I can do it here. Whoot, dot. That's a weird, strange sound I've heard juveniles make. And a lot of times it's not about, I hear the sound and I see the small tracks. So that's very significant to me. It's evidence. Tracks are evidence. I'm out in the middle of nowhere and I see little Sasquatch tracks. There's a little Sasquatch around. They're fresh tracks. It's little Sasquatch. Have a good day. But I think the juveniles are really, it's a family group that you're always going to be dealing with. I hope in the case, I don't see how you could have a juvenile and not have a mother around. Mom's going to be protective. And the females, I see much less than the males. And I'm assuming it's because the big dominant male has his harem, he protects his females, and they stay back in their places. And the majority of sightings are rogue males running around or just the young males that are coming out to do stuff. I think many times most of the time I've had juvenile sightings. Either the parents I was really deep into Sasquatch habitat, and when that juvenile came around, when he popped out, I think it was just the way it felt, honestly, was I knew that the Sasquatch were around. Like in Survivor Man talked about it on an episode. I was in the spot, I showed him where I saw a juvenile. I think the juvenile just kind of got away from the parents, and the parents were there. And there was a little bit of trust issue going on because they know me really well. So the juvenile came out and was staring at me, but I knew the parents were around. I knew if I did anything to harm him, I would have been dead. Dead. And I felt that fear, and I think they got that respect. I saw that young Sasquatch, and I was like, whoa, easy little guy. Like, don't come any closer because I don't want to be upsetting your parents. And that's kind of how that went down. And then another time in Montana, a juvenile was coming around, but the big male was gone at that time. So I think a lot of the times you're going to get that young male sighting, and it happened in a reserve I was working on too. The big male was completely gone. Like, I think he passed away. I think he died, and nobody replaced him just because of the area. And it was there's so much logging and so much presence of people that I actually saw the track of the young guy, like the mom picking up the little guy and then walking with him and putting him down, and then he ran off and she tackled him. So, but my point is, I think the vast majority of the time, the parents are going to have really good control over the young ones, and that's why you won't have many juvenile sightings. I think also there's a piece of footage from that's the BFRO put out. It's not BFRO footage; they didn't capture it, but they put it out there. This looks like a young Sasquatch. He's all bending and twisting and doing all these cool motions, and I'm quite convinced that's legitimate. So I think that's likely a real young juvenile Sasquatch. I've never seen them bending and twisting and stretching and doing stuff like that. Never, but it just, I don't know, just something cries authenticity to me. So shout out to Robert Kreider. I don't know a lot of these other researchers. I've never met Robert Kreider. I've never spoken with him. There's lots of really cool researchers out there. I just hear so much the ring of truth in what they do, and I'd like to say, shout out to them. So much gratitude for working towards this discovery. I started this in around 2006, about 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, and I became a full-time Sasquatch researcher. So that was over 10 years of just enormous losses and pain and suffering. I could have died so many times. You risk so much. People have no idea. I know, though. There's that movie, Harry and the Hendersons, where there's the old guy and he's been looking for Sasquatch his whole life. And he's talking to Mr. Henderson. He says, don't spend it. This will ruin your life. It'll destroy everything. And so many people actually do that. Their lives are destroyed. They sacrifice so much because they're so passionate about this. And I'm so grateful for them. I really am. Even I just speechless. Why I know why, but you get that bug and you want to go fight for it. With me, gosh, I've had so much success, and I quit for a couple years. It's so frustrating, the crap. A lot of the things, like even Robert Kreider saying, talking about Robert Kreider on Facebook. Just when he says stuff, I just get it. I just get it. It's like I get it because I'm in the trenches, and I know he's somewhere he's in the southern United States in a very different ecology, but he's in the trenches. Bullets are flying. You know what I mean? You just recognize that battle, and he's talking about he feels confidently that this discovery is coming. I feel the same way. Something's got to break. When they're out there, something just got to happen, and I think I got the gist that he wanted me to say that, to tell people. And so I'm telling you on behalf of Robert Kreider and the other people that do research like I do, that are very passionate about this, don't quit on us. Don't give up. This is coming. They're out there. There is forward progress happening. Jeff Meldrum's done some amazing things. Survivor Man's jumped on board with this discovery. And, there's lots of new PhDs and lots of doctors and people that are coming on board with me. There's great things happening, and know that we're not spinning our wheels. There is some movement forward. So, and Robert says, I wanted to have him this quote: the ones up front are the ones with the most arrows in their back. So, is that the quote right? The ones out in front are the ones who get the most arrows in their back. Oh my God, I understand that. But I you hear about that a lot. It's Dwayne Johnson. I think he's really cool, and I listen to a lot of his quotes, and Will Smith and Jim Carrey, and it just rings true whenever you're doing something that's big. There's a lot of people make it difficult for you, and unfortunately there seems to be a lot of competition. But I laugh in the face. Go ahead, compete against me. There's no competition in me. It's all about cooperation, and that's why I have my tremendous success, and that's what I'll have success entirely based on cooperation. If you don't understand the power of cooperation, let me explain it to you real quick, because I know in the beautiful, amazing, wonderful United States, they're very capitalist. But when you don't cooperate, when you're competing, you're pushing against this. And let's say this weighs 200 pounds, and these are 200-pound men, and they're trying to push, and even get 4 people, and they're all pushing this, and this won't move much. But if you all get together and you push in the same direction, this is going to move like nobody's business. See, this is competition. It'll move an inch this way, and I'm pushing it. I win. If we get together, we can push this for miles. And that's the way I do everything. That's entirely my research, and that's the best. There's no. You can't compete against cooperation. You're going to lose. So and I'm doing everything I can to cooperate and work with people, and I love living that way. Also, there's no cutting throats, there's no backstabbing, there's no need for any of that when you're cooperating with people. I'll get that from people that are trying to compete with me, trying to be the best, and there's no best. You're just talking to a Sasquatch researcher that's I do the best I can. I fight for this tooth and nail. I give it everything I got. There's nothing more left in me. I go until I got nothing left, and I figure out how to get home. You know what I mean? Like, I go out until I got nothing left, and I go, oh, I got nothing left to move forward. Well, now you got to go home, and it's a very foolish way to live, and that's the way I did things a lot. So I have a whole family thing going on here with children and stuff, a 1-year-old. So you'll hear little kid things in the background. I apologize, but I'm an enormous family guy. I love children and family tremendously. So I have a really cool question that I really liked, was from Facebook. How accurate are they at throwing rocks? This has been just ticking me right off, because you can't. I have a tremendous amount of experience with guns and shooting and bullets, and how hard it is. Like bullets, you know, the rifling action and the science behind getting them to go these significant distances it's immensely important. The reason I'm telling you this is when you pick up a rock on the ground and you throw it, you can't get accuracy. Like, I have a 44 Magnum. Does it have, I don't even think it might, well, it has a bit of rifling in my, but it's, you know, an 8-inch 44 Magnum. With a laser and a computer, you can't shoot that accurately at 100 yards. You can't. It's plus or minus like 8 inches. So the bullet's going to go anywhere inside this size. If you go 200 yards, a computer, a machine with lasers, freaking lasers, is going to, you know, have that big a range. Like, the bullets are going to be, that would be the best success you have. How is a Sasquatch throwing a rock to 300 yards? It's not possible. It's rock. Like, I've heard them throw rocks, and the rocks are so, like, a bullet makes like a whew, because it's so efficiently moving through the air. I've heard them throw rocks. You can hear the crackle on these darn things, like, because the air is just coming off them so badly. Even the rocks had little, there's literally like a busted rock out of a mountain, not even a river stone that's smooth. And they'll throw these things, and they're making this weird sound like it was thrown with a catapult. And they have immense power, but their accuracy, I mean, I've been walking along multiple times, with John Bitternagel. We had rocks thrown at us with Randy, another gentleman that was guiding us that day, and these rocks just kept smashing trees right in front of us. Like, I'm talking 3-4 yards in front of us. So how are they hitting these trees? And I couldn't find the Sasquatch to be closer than 200 yards. And I think ultimately, at the end of the day, it's not possible for them to throw yards accurately. It's just not possible. This is not like Chinese kung fu mythology stuff. We're down to the real MMA. You know how it is. This is real fighting. All those myths have been, you know, gone. I love tossing myths away, and the reality of it is, it's not possible for them to pick up some strangely shaped rock and throw it accurately 200 yards. So, although those are my observations, those observations have to be incorrect. And I think the end answer is, I think that they're just rope-a-doping you is more likely. You'll hear, they do this to me all the time. Though you'll hear a Sasquatch over here, but there's one over here, you know, and the one making sound over here is the one trying to get you to look at him, but this guy over here is going to be dead silent and sneak up on you. So they'll triangulate. They'll quadruple around you. Like, they'll own it. They'll have one guy stealth in, and you know what I mean? So what I think is more likely happening is the Sasquatch you heard, the Sasquatch you tracked, the Sasquatch you thought threw the rock didn't. It was a guy that was maybe just right in front of him. Because you know where the trajectory was, right? When you see the rock coming, it goes, whoosh, you go, okay, trajectory. That's, you know, where's the vector, head to tail? Find it, and that's where the rock came from. But the one Sasquatch that left no tracks, that I didn't see any signs of, that didn't make any sounds, is more likely the one that threw it. And you better understand, oh my God, they are that good. They're that good, which leads me into the next question I had on Facebook. I'll start answering these questions online next. Is a gentleman asked me, radium, how long have the radium Sasquatch lived there? That's my last question. There's a bunch more. Maybe I'll go into them in a minute. But forever? They've always been there? That's their home. So when you're dealing with them, you're dealing with a tracker. And for God's sake, people, you must understand, to really be a great tracker, you got to be out there in it. That's the only way you're going to do it. If you're out there for a week and you're gone for 2 weeks, forget about it. You're not going to, when you know the rain and the dryness and the sunny days and the wind and you know everything that's going on at all times, and you live there and you know every rock and every tree, and gosh, you watch trees grow up. You saw the trees when they were little and now they're bigger, and you've been moving through them. Like, this is your home. You know it. Your survival depends on it. So, and you're dealing with a species that their lineage, their prodigy has been there for 20,000 years, 40, I don't know, longer than any recorded history that we have by far. So, and these beings teach They're intelligent. They're teachers. That's the difference between like a whitetail buck, which is this incredible, amazing quarry that's extremely difficult to have. The number one trophy species in North America are whitetail bucks, and they don't teach. Deer don't teach. Not really. Like not like primates. I guess they do. Like there's a matriarch that'll teach in a deer herd. So I guess there is some learning. A mother bear will teach her cub, but yes, there is teaching, but it's not like primate teaching. Primate teaching is so like we're talking communication. We're talking a super high level of intelligence, you know. So you know, the working intelligence I've talked about in other videos. So it's really it's very, very exceptional, this species, and that's why they've evaded us. That's why they know we exist. We don't know they exist, right? So who's the intelligent one? It's from my documentary. But let's get into some crazy questions from you amazing people here. Hugh White, hello from Corning, New York. Hello, New York. God, you guys take care of yourself. That virus, my goodness, concerning me. Hello from Australia. Hey, Australia. That's Australia. Yowies, awesome, amazing. SoCal Falcon. Hey Todd, are you still doing guides in the bush? I'd like to come on one. Yes, it's go to discoveringbigfoot.org is my website. I don't know what's going to happen. Really got lots of people coming out this year, so I'm just sort of organizing that. I'm kind of being leaving some space. My expeditions I used to take out myself and 3 people was maximum, and now I'm kind of even whittling that down to myself and 2 people. And I've got quite a few people coming out this year that are going to be, you know, out here full time, and I'm really excited about that. There's many changes coming this year. I'm really excited about the new people that are jumping up on board. Justin Matthews, is that the Justin Matthews coming on expedition with me? Good to see you, bud. He says, hi from the Rock of Gibraltar. Where's that? Sounds cool. I've heard of that. Todd, have you ever thought of finding any hairs for DNA? Yeah, I have hairs. Gosh, hairs right here at my desk. I'm just working on that stuff. Where are they? So I have 2 different sets of people. And actually, I did have a hair, and it was analyzed as human, but not human. Something very human, very hominid-like, but it didn't match. It didn't match when in comparison with chimpanzees. The DNA that I had, so none of the cowards, I'll call them coward geneticists, they're cowards. I don't want to pull any punches about it. They're bloody cowards. They wouldn't take me up on my challenge. I gave them hair samples. They refused it. Or they tested hair samples, and then they wouldn't talk to me anymore and give me my money back that I paid for. That's how cowardice these people are. They're universities that have tested my hairs and refused to acknowledge them. But anyways, I had paleo DNA analyze it, and their analysis didn't make any sense because it tested as hominid, human, but it didn't test as human compared to chimpanzees. It was something that couldn't be human but was human, and the answer is it's simply Sasquatch. It was a wonderful learning experience, and I want to use DNA next. The next importance of DNA for me is going to be when I'm getting full, because I could get full genomes. I don't know, the Adrian Erickson. I'm not giving Mel McKetchum credit for that. That's the Adrian Erickson and the Randy Brisson and all the men and women that collected and gathered the samples and then paid for it. Those are the ones that should get credit for the Melba Ketchum, that all she did was took it and analyze it and then had it paid for by Adrian Erickson to do everything. Everything was all done. She just basically sat there and had it done. And good for her and whatever. C'est la vie. But full genomes were done there in the Adrian Erickson study. And who cared? Nobody cared. Nobody bumped. Didn't do anything. So I'm going to care when I get my next DNA done, because I want to find somebody to do full genome, because I want to have brother, father, sister, mother, son, right? So not only are they from an unknown species, but what's their relationship to each other? That would be exciting, right? So this is the 16-inch track, and this is the brother to this 14-inch track. And then I get, oh, this is female, and this female is the aunt or the sister or the mother of this 16-inch track. And so what I want to do is I want to pair the size based on the tracks and the gender, so I can tell I can tell gender from the tracks after a certain age. After they get too big to be female, even the younger ones, the males are just heavier. The females are more slender and lighter in the foot. It's becoming very obvious to me. And I don't make any apologies for it. It's just very, very obvious to me as a tracker. Once I get in the groove of it, this is a female, this is a male. But is this the sister? Is this a non-related? Is this a new male? That would be tremendously significant, right? And I highly suspect in a family group we're going to find that this is the mom, this is the sister, this is a brother, and so that would be profound, wouldn't it? And just sometimes I just want to say, kiss my butt. Pop culture, if you guys don't want to accept it, it's just for us. It'd be for us, and I want to know that stuff. So that's my next one of my next big goals is to do that, and it'll work out. I have some good things going on with some geneticists that are ballsy enough to start moving forward. So hello, Mason Sylvanik. Good evening, sir. Stonewall Jackson. Good evening from Miami, Florida. Can't stay long tonight. Hello, Tim. Well, we'll try to be exciting right away, Tim. Ask me some crazy questions. Todd, Jacob here again. Say hi to us. Yes, hello, gentlemen. Hello from Iowa. Everyone, remember to hit the like button. Hi, Amanda. Need some questions. Got to be entertaining. I'm very lucky. My wife embraces Sasquatch with me. Yeah, isn't that good to have support of your family? That's awesome. I hear a lot. Like, it's crazy to me to think that there's a particular colleague of mine who has like some decent footage. I put it up on my YouTube channel. She's been on expedition with me, and she doesn't get any support from her children or her husband. They just kind of go, oh, mom, and there's Sasquatch out there. Can you imagine that? But just some people are just so, so against it, so thinks it's so ridiculous that Bigfoot could exist and Sasquatch are real. What about shouting out to one of the tranquilizers, KOing it? The tranquilizers wouldn't work. No way. That's breakaway books. Oh my God. There's so many people that say stuff like that, no offense, but you don't really know about tranquilizers, do you? You have to do it based on weight, metabolism. And then if I'm doing it in the Rocky Mountains, the Sasquatch runs away, runs uphill. Now what are you going to do? Falls down the hill, dies. Oh, wait a second, there's a family group. Sure, go trank a moose. Go trank a deer, they run away. Go trank a Sasquatch, they come towards you. It's a family. Hey, breakaway books. I'll go tranquilize your mom. And then imagine a Sasquatch's perspective. So you pull out a gun and point it at them. First of all, you're dead. You don't take a gun out and point it at a Sasquatch. They know what guns are. You're a dead man. So dead. Then if let's say some miracle happened and you shot a Sasquatch and it fell down, you think the Sasquatch are going to think, oh, he's okay. No, they're going to think he's dead. They're going to retaliate and kill you. So you tranked one, but now when the family comes back, you're killing them. Bang, 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 bang to defend yourself. You don't trank a Sasquatch attacking you. You're going to die. So, and again, now the Sasquatch are all attacking you. How much does he weigh? I think he's 600 pounds. I don't know. It's really the reality of it. The theory of it is just such a beautiful romance. Oh, I'm so brave and so awesome. But the reality of it is absolutely infinitely preposterous and so many levels I can't even tell you. Can't even tell you. How much does that one weigh? I don't know. When are they going to come around? Like, it's just not going to happen anytime soon. I can't even imagine it. You're not dealing with deer. You're not dealing with even wolves. You're not dealing with, this is a totally different species, totally different. It's not even, you can't even compare gorillas or chimpanzees to them. Forget about it. And you must understand too, Diane Fossey used to be just irately pissed off, just angry like you can't even imagine when she see a baby gorilla going to a zoo because she knew the whole troop is dead. You killed them all for the baby because they all fight for that baby. Or, half the troop. You killed, 9 of the 18 gorillas died defending the baby. And that's gorillas. And gorillas aren't trackers. Gorillas are not Sasquatch intelligent hominids. And gorillas are not hunters and predators. And forget about it. Gorillas are half the size of a Sasquatch, half as strong. So the reality is absolutely preposterous, and I don't make any apologies for it. For current prices on expeditions, please. Thanks, Amanda. There you go, Discovering Bigfoot. That's the link for the expeditions page. You can go apply there. And I tell you, people, I don't know. This may be the last year for expeditions. I don't know that I'm public at all. I've got so many people that I trust. I could just have my crew. My goal with expeditioners is to train these people so they're colleagues, they're friends. I trust them. And now I have so many people that are just going to come back every year. I can only take out, in the time I have, I can take out maybe, let's say I have 30 people I could do. But then some people are coming up for 2 weeks now, so that brings it down to 20. And then some people want to do a month, and that brings it down to 15. And And these people are trusted colleagues. We've bled together. No BS. These guys are legit tough. These men and women are tough. And I can't wait for them to come back. I'm excited. They're friends of mine. I feel like they're a part of my life, my expeditioners. So some of them have saved me on just in totally different areas. Now I can go. I had a horrible thing happen in Vancouver. I go to Vancouver. My expeditioner Cody Smith is there. Love the man. He's my brother. I'm an uncle to his awesome little boy. So shout out to you, Cody, and your awesome family, Nicole. Like I just little baby. I'm an uncle because of one of my expeditioners. That's what happens when you go into this. It's not war. It's not even battle. I don't want to call it that kind of stuff. But when you go and you have these, charged by bears and out there in the bush and literally their lives are in my hands, like you saw in Survivor Man. I could have killed Survivor Man. I could have got him lost in, well, not Survivor Man. Survivor Man's too tough. He was way too smart, way too skilled. He'd have got out of there. He'd have been fine. I could have harmed him. I don't know. I could have made mistakes. I could have done stupid things. I took really good care of Survivor Man. We had no issues to do with any other wildlife other than Sasquatch. Do you think that's a coincidence? We had no troubles with bears, no troubles with mountain lions. He and I love wolves. We would have loved having the wolves come around, but we're not out there for the wolves. Believe me, if you wanted to see wolves, we'd go see wolves. But we're not out there for that. There are wolf experts that are doing their job, and kudos to them. But anyways, that's where we're going with expeditions. And the next movies coming out will put me up on another level. The movies are generating revenue. The YouTube channel is generating revenue. And I'm really, ultimately, I just want to get this discovery done. And I feel like expeditions maybe next year. I don't even know. So for the public, I'm just going to have my people and make movies and do YouTube videos and some TV shows and stuff. And, oh, Lee, boy, how can I don't want to talk about that yet, Lee. So, what do I think about Florida Bigfoot, says Leonard C. Williams. I think there's likely Sasquatch in Florida. I think it's very, very likely they're there, but I just don't have enough information. And there was a Sasquatch researcher that was quite famous that just wouldn't talk to me for some reason. So, when I was in Florida, but I was down there and I saw the terrain, it's lush. There could be Sasquatch there. And then Lee asks me, you sneaky outsmarting me. I really want to do a whole thing about who named Kubota. Lee says, who named the dangerous Bigfoot Kubota? So I don't want to talk about that yet. I'm gonna talk about that. It's coming up. It's a really big deal. Really, really big deal. I want to save that for Sasquatch Sunday because it's so cool. It's so cool. It's so cool. I didn't name Kubota. So, but anyways, that's coming. It's coming. Keep watching Sasquatch Sundays. That is just such a, what actually happened was, so I wasn't supposed to, backpackers, backcountry, kick-ass Germans, how do I put this? Didn't give me permission to talk about what happened with them. And, so I just recently talked to them and I've been, collaborating with them a little bit here and there, and then suddenly they just said, you know what, we want you to talk about, so I'm going to keep them anonymous still, but they've given me permission to publicly discuss, so it's a really big deal. I'm not even going to put it in the movie, I'm just going to talk about it for you guys. So it's coming on a Sasquatch Sunday, and it's really, really cool, all the events and everything, so it's really, really cool stuff. So what I love is I get people from Radium that have seen Jake, I get, people in Nordegg that are seeing the same Sasquatch that I saw out in Nordegg, there's just, I love that corroboration. It just adds to the discovery process moving forward, right? Jeff Meldrum saw Sasquatch, right? And I was saying there were Sasquatch. We heard Sasquatch. We saw tracks from Sasquatch. Apples got taken by Sasquatch. So it's that building up of information and the cooperation. It's always nice to just there's Kubota, and somebody calls me and says, I saw Kubota, with his German accent. I have information about Kubota, and I'm like, I want to hear it. And then the authenticity just rings through. The way Jeff Meldrum saw Sasquatch somewhere and then told me to go look in a different place for the tracks, and there were no tracks there, and I kept looking and searching and boom, there were tracks here. And then I go see him and he goes, oh, that's where I saw the Sasquatch. I gave you the incorrect information, but it matched. And that's what happens when the truth comes out, is all the bullshit falls aside. I'm not allowed to swear. I apologize, Amanda. All the BS, can I say BS? All the garbage, all the rhetoric, all the crap falls off and the truth is left. And I'm so about the truth. Truth. Let the truth fall. Let the cards fall. Truth is coming. Sasquatch are real. Absolutely. And, so there has to be trail cam footage. There has to be trail cam footage. That might be a new video that I put out. Need to go look at it. But no, dude, ask Derek, no, there doesn't have to be trail cam footage. Do you understand you're dealing with the greatest trackers that have ever lived? The greatest white trackers, the Native Americans, and then the Sasquatch, a whole other level. If you met Geronimo, if you met the greatest Apache trackers, if you met Blackfeet trackers, they will all tell you Sasquatch are a level above us. So it might be hard for people that are not here but gone out of the picture. What white tracker do you know of? I've spent decades of my life to get to around here. I'm not as good as those native trackers. Boy, they're a level above me. I admit it. I'm working, but I don't know if I'm capable of achieving that level, because they never left. They don't leave. They're born and raised out there. And these native trackers that are here, amongst the natives, they're elite. Like, there are native trackers that are just here. But the top trackers, the cream of the crop, have special sensory perceptions and specialized abilities. That's why I'm not able. I'm with the other Indians going, I'm doing the best I can, but this other level, it's very special. It's somebody that's gifted. The best gifted, the cream rises to the top, and the best gifted native trackers that the natives go, wow, let that guy track. He's the best tracker amongst trackers, is, just here. And the Sasquatch are still here. You can't get them because they're born and bred and raised. They don't have fire. They don't ride around on horses. They never had TPs. They didn't want guns or bows or arrows because they were just raw, surviving, perfect equilibrium. You cannot compete with that. Forget about it. So you think you're going to put up a game cam? That's, why people would say that? No disrespect, but you're just down like on the floor. Of course we can outsmart. You understand what game cam doesn't have a piece of glass on it? A shiny piece of glass. It's called a lens. It's got a shiny piece of glass on it. Some of them have multiple. Even a shiny piece of glass was got green. Are you kidding me? You got to understand the natives. The old natives that are good trackers will do a big loop around where you put the trail cam and see your tracks, and then watch your tracks and see you kneeling and putting them, digging it. They'll see all that stuff in the tracks. They'll see that game camera 50 yards off. I've seen it with the Sasquatch. They'll walk in, see the game cam, and walk right out. Every time. So, without exception. There is no exception to it. It happens every single time. They don't like that little shiny piece of glass thing standing there. It's not, you understand how unnatural that is? It's like throwing a plastic bag or something. I don't know. They don't like it. Why would they like it? Who knows what that, don't trust people. You're playing games. And like I tell people most of the time, they're probably watching you put the game cam up. They saw you come in. They know that you're a threat to them because you're a sneaky bugger. You think you're going to out-sneak the best trackers in the world? Like, people, please try to understand. It's John Jones, the greatest UFC fighter of all time, versus a 5-year-old kid. Really, please, that's not an exaggeration. You know what the betting odds would be if a little 5-year-old kid went and fought John Jones are? 1,000,000,000,000. The kid couldn't win. That's what happens when you have a guy with a game cam and a gun who's going to go take on a Sasquatch. You have no chance whatsoever. Please understand that. So when you're dealing with a group of Sasquatch in a family, it's their home. They never leave. They're watching everything. They're defending their family. You think they're not afraid of you? You think you're not a threat? Sneaking around and being sneaky little bugger? You think they don't see foxes and wolves and bears that do that, and they whoop their ass? And bears are amazing. Wolves are incredible. Fox and coyotes, they don't get up on a Sasquatch. How are you going to? Driving in with your truck, parking your vehicle, slamming your door as you get out. Do you realize all these things? As your tires go down the dirt road, and then the engine stops. Open the door. Oh, they didn't see you coming at all. Your big shiny vehicle on the road. Like, it's so funny. It just, you know how funny it is? Imagine a Sasquatch. He's up there in the mountains. He's covered in trees and bush and nature. He's watching the birds and the deer. He's the apex species, top above everything else. Every bird sound, every deer movement, every moose and elk that moves, he's aware of it. He's the top. He's the apex species. And he knows about the wind changes and when the sun comes up and the weather. He knows everything. He's aware. It's his home. It's where he lives. He smells it in the air. He feels the barometer drop. It's gonna rain. He knows it all. And this guy drives in on a trail with a vehicle. What color? It doesn't matter what color it is. It sticks out like a sore thumb. Is a pathetic. You come in on the road, then you park. Get out of your vehicle. You walk down the trail usually, and you're gonna fool him with a trail cam? Really? Come on, like, you know, holy cow, like, wow, no, nah. So I got him a trail cam, whole other situations going on. So the trail cam with me, even I'll tell you, here's a little thing. I did my old sneak into a spot and let them to come and figure out why I've been there for 3 days. That's what I did. That's why I got potential trail cam going on. So it's because the Sasquatch are so dominant. I took advantage of their dominance. I capitulated. Okay, these guys own me. No game cam, not gonna work. Well, the game cam worked with Survivor Man, kinda, because we got them so excited, because they were so excited to come around and they wanted those gifts that we gave them. And that young Sasquatch came in and snagged it. But I mean, the trail cam shot's pathetic because they're so fast. Boom, just like a bolt. We got the top of the head of a Sasquatch. But again, that's an exceptional situation because I spent years attracting and working with them and getting them to trust me, and then they literally came around me. If you can get them to come around you, that's a whole other ball of wax, right? But you versus them, don't verse nature, guys. Don't verse the Sasquatch. So it's just, you know, don't do it. How's your relationship with West German? Good. I would like to go on a show again. I think it's good. I know things can change and be crazy, but that skunk ape video enhanced was awesome, Amanda. I agree. Thank you, Amanda. That's from Tim T in Florida. So, and you know, the guys doing Florida, I know there's lots of guys doing Florida stuff. Good luck, guys. Really good luck. So if there's anything I can do to help, I hope I can help out. So, you know, what I can do to help you right now with anybody is go use the movie. Go use the Survivor Man Bigfoot episodes that I was in. At least they're tremendously successful. And there'll be more stuff that's coming. You know, use my YouTube videos. Use Jeff Meldrum's. Jeff Meldrum has the tracks accepted as an existing North American bipedal primate. Use Jeff Meldrum stuff. Like, you know, John Bitterniggle's book. He's a PhD. He's firmly convinced that Sasquatch exists. He's firmly convinced my footage is real. I hope that helps you. The only point of this stuff is to move the discovery forward. That's it. It's if I can help you, if my stuff can help you, please let it. So I'm a North American living in the far north in this crazy little country called Canada, and the Sasquatch are obviously up here, and the natives know it, and you know, so thanks, Phil, for showing up. That's awesome. Hey, Phil. Andy says, Todd, do you think that there are exclusive Sasquatch game trails not used by deer or elk? Ooh. No. Yes. Let's talk about that. So, video 6, Winter Sasquatch. I went out there. That was absolutely not the plan, that footage. That had nothing to do with the plan whatsoever. I'm a little uncomfortable about talking about this, but we got to be controversial, and I need to do things that make me uncomfortable. Okay, so Sasquatch are going to have a spot to survive in the winter. They cannot, their feet will not allow them to walk around in the cold snow. Their feet would freeze up. They don't have hooves. Ungulates have hooves, and that's how they survive, constantly out there. Mountain lions have paws, go up trees. Wolves have just the Sasquatch's feet would not allow them to survive in snow and in the winter permanently. So they're in a cave, they're in a spot, they're in some kind of shelter. What are they? And so my other theory is in this shelter they're going to need meat. So they're going to kill elk once in a while. Just take a bunch of elk. The elk will freeze up, and they can have elk reservoirs of meat, or deer, or whatever, moose. I think it's mostly elk. What are they going to need though? Water. from that cave, they can't just eat snow. They have to go get water. Everything needs water. The mountain lions, the bull bears hibernate. The wolves need water. They have to have a water source. So if you have an idea of where they are in the winter, but don't bug them in the winter. Oof, that's a whole other. So anyways, that would be a trail. And what the Sasquatch will do is the trail will look really odd. Like an ungulate trail is very bumpy because of the hooves. A Sasquatch trail in the snow is walked over many, many times, and it's smooth as smooth can be. I filmed it. I have the footage of it. I never made it public because the other thing you have to understand is if you talk to any biologists, like we in Canada and in Colorado and the snowy places in the U.S., we snowmobile. If you snowmobile around game, you kill them. When we go, what do you mean? Well, what happens is deer and elk and moose, all these animals that are surviving in the wintertime, all of them, coyotes, it's hard, man. Winter is hard. It's tough. It's a winter wasteland. Food and it's so hard. Many animals don't survive it. So if you go and chase a deer, or a deer has to run really hard to get away from you, even for an hour, they go into that freak out mode and they get that, they burn so many calories, they burn off the fat, they can't survive in the winter. So you're not allowed to snowmobile or mess with animals in the wintertime because you literally kill them. And that would be the case with the Sasquatch. If the Sasquatch had elderly or young, and you went and messed around their winter spot where they have to move to another winter spot, that would probably kill the young ones, probably kill the old ones. It's got to be hard, guys. Even for a Sasquatch, I cannot. The natives had a hard time in the winter. I think it's hard for Sasquatch too. I think I could be wrong, because I know they're such a dominant, incredible, amazing species. But you know, the strong ones, it'll be good. But what about a baby that was just born? Primates don't have seasons. If you think that they're seasonal rutting and stuff, wrong. Completely not possible. They breed the same way humans and chimpanzees and gorillas breed. Humans have monthly cycles, and you better know it, because they feed gorillas and chimpanzees human birth control pills and human cycles. It is nothing like dogs or horses or cats, nothing like that. Deer, all those other animals survive based on all their offspring being born in the spring, and then they build up through the spring and summer to get strong to survive the winter. So, and there's a reason for that in nature, because a baby that's born in the winter is not going to survive. There's no chance. In Canada, forget about it. In the winter areas, no chance. You're dead meat. A mother can't eat enough food to produce milk. So that's how winters are hard. And we forget that because we're so freaking domesticated and ignorant about that. So after I filmed video 6, I said no more. I was, obviously, it was just clear to me the damage that I did that year, and the Sasquatch were really upset with me, and rightly so. And so I don't chase them around in the winters. In the winters now, I go do the court cases, and maybe even I'll tour around and do seminars and stuff. But that's just my thoughts on winter. Is really it's hard, guys. So please don't chase the Sasquatch in the wintertime. And I'm a bit of a hypocrite because I did that, but I learned my lesson, and I hope I can pass those lessons on to you. If you really care about them, yeah, leave them alone in the winter, where there's snow and cold and stuff, right? I was in California. They get snow in California too, but there are places there's much less snow or even no snow. When was that? I was in California in February-ish. Still nice. The deer were still running around eating. The leaves fell off the tree, but it would probably be a lot easier. But anyways, nice to see you, Todd. Hello, everyone. Hi, Nora. Thanks for coming in. JJ Martin. Hello, Todd from New Mexico. How do you come up with their names? I was trying to be simple about it. Jane, Jake, Jack, Jacob. I was trying to just be simple about it. I don't really want to. I'm trying not to put me too much on it. I didn't want it to be the Todd Standing videos. They were the Sylvanic videos, or video 1, 2, and 3, and 4. You know what I mean? I don't want, because there's so much that goes into it. There's so many people that have taught me, and there's so many shoulders that I stand on. That and it's not for me. It's for the Sasquatch. So, yeah, that's just how I feel about things. So, anyways, yeah, I just try to be simple about it, and it's kind of, I feel like a bit of a dumbass because I have Jake and now it's Jacob. Jacob is my new guy, and maybe that's a little annoying. I apologize. I don't know. I just felt good when I said Jacob. It seemed like Jake was like the big Jake, and Jacob was just like the little fun dude. Now it happens, but now Jacob's getting big. Jacob is Last year he was 16-inch track. He's getting big. Once I believe the top of the head, I'm firmly convinced the top of the head that Sasquatch, that Survivor Men filmed, was Jacob. He's crazy. He's a nutcase. He's a young punk. I just love him to death. I think he's just so fun. He's just out there and he's just having a good time. He's the one that goes, hey, when I come around. He's the one. Jake never did that. It was always Jacob, and Jacob was young when I first met him. When Jake was a 16-inch track, Jacob was around 12 inches. So he was just, how I'd have to really think about and get into my notes when I first started really noticing him around. He was always just crazy. I saw Jacob when the day Jake came out and was telling me to turn around because the grizzly bear was coming at me. I saw Jacob that day too, as clear as day. And man, he was like half the size of Jake. He was that year. Jake was hitting the 17 inches in his footprint, and Jacob was probably getting up to 14. But just like thickness and mass, Jake was just a beast. I always knew Jake as just a big, strong. I think I first started to really recognize Jake at about 15 inches. Just off the top of my head. I've got notes and stuff. It's a big mess of them around here. But anyways, and in fact, actually, most of my hard drives and stuff are in safety deposit boxes because people break into my house and steal stuff. It hasn't happened in a few years, quite a few years, but that used to happen. Very frustrating. Kevin's, can the Sasquatch swim? I sure don't think so. First of all, why would they want to swim? But I just think like the muscle density, the power that they have, the power and the thickness they'd have to have, not just in their muscles, but their bones to support that kind of mass. Remember, I'm 6'3". A 9'3" Sasquatch is a beast. Like, that's a beast. Okay, I'm not a skinny guy. I work out. I'm really fit. I'm an athlete. I really am. I've been an athlete my whole life. I always train. Really comfortable at 220. My favorite weight is 230. It's hard for me to maintain that when I'm doing expeditions because of the endurance and the burning of calories. And I mean, like, I lose muscle mass. But anyways, let's say a big me like Captain America is 240 and my height. So that's big. Like Captain America is like built. That's a good built human being. 6'3", 240 pounds. Captain America. A Sasquatch is only 3 feet taller and he's 900 pounds. Not 230. He's over 900 pounds. Let's say 930. Just to make it nice and easy. And that's 700 pounds more than a man. And he's only 3 feet taller. Do you understand the mass? And not just the size, but the primate power. We do not have primate power. Captain America, 230 pounds, will get torn to shreds by a chimpanzee who's 200 pounds. Primate power, whole other ballgame. Biggest, strongest man in the world, like one of those monster, powerful human beings. Thor and all these incredible strong men, like 350, 300 pounds, these beasts would be ripped limb from a 300-pound orangutan. So you're not just dealing, and orangutans don't swim. Gorillas, oh my God, right? Stink. Muscle mass, muscle density, bone density. There's nothing light, and they have agility that's shocking. And I've got to be wrong about what I'm seeing, guys. There's something that just doesn't add up. The agility that I've seen in a Sasquatch, it just doesn't make any sense. Like, we've never seen this in nature. The speed, the agility, the power. It just doesn't make any sense. I really have to, like, we're talking about rock throwing today. It doesn't make any sense. You can't throw a rock like that. And I believe there's something wrong with what I'm seeing. There's just something wrong, guys. You can't be that big. You can't be that agile. You can't be that powerful. It doesn't make sense. What the problem with my sightings may be is the agility and the speed that I'm seeing may be at a younger age, and then when they get bigger and older, you can't. How can you be 900 pounds and have the agility that I'm seeing? It just doesn't make any sense, guys. So I hate to be my own worst critic, but I just don't understand how they're that strong, that fast. So what I've seen in the bush, their movements, the trackway, the length between the footprints, the power. How can they have the endurance to run down an elk when they have this more power than a grizzly bear? It doesn't make it. Grizzly bears are not endurance. They can't do it. An elk, over a short distance, a grizzly bear has the speed, but if he's not within 200 yards of an elk, if he's 100 yards away, his speed won't be enough to sprint over that elk and then the elk's going to destroy him in endurance. That's why wolves are so successful. They're endurance monsters. They're little 120-pound wolves versus a 600-pound bear. The wolves are winning because of their agility and their endurance. Sasquatch shouldn't have the endurance to go down to take down an elk, and I've seen it in the trackways. It doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't make any sense. So are they that amazing? Are they superheroes? Should we stop making movies about X-Men and DC Comics and Marvel and Iron Man when you got these incredible heroes? Like, they're man-like primates. That's why I'm so pushing this discovery. That's why, because I just want to read the book that's done. I want the primatologists and the scientists, and I want the acknowledgement, and I want that positive, incredible discovery to move forward. And I want to really see what's missing, because it just doesn't make any sense how they're so amazing. So sorry if I seem a little sassy. Crazy stuff going on in my life right now personally, but what's going on here? Something's going wrong with this. So hey, anyways, I'll do Bernie. Hi Todd, do you think Sasquatch can sense? I knew it was going to do that. My thing is freezing here, and that was a good question. Anyway, I'll have to go to the next one. I apologize. Joey, have you found artwork from them? Oh, what a good question. Such as gifts or hairstyles, braids or tattoos, cave paintings. I don't want to talk about some stuff. Okay. I've seen them twist twigs together and make a crown out of a twig. So I saw twigs, I think, and they were all twisted together, and it made this. There was like 5 of them all weaved in really well, and there were berries that were put in the middle of it. Berries that I was picking and eating, multiple kinds of berries, and it was on a pathway that I was coming along. So they knew I was coming along there. They made this little crown of branches that was really cool. And believe it or not, I have to admit, at the time I was like, this can't be happening. A lot of time you're in denial about this stuff, and I want to say what the hell and not do it. But so that first time I came about that, do you understand how shocking it is to have that happen? It just doesn't make any sense. Are they really that amazing? They knew I was walking down this trail. They knew I was coming this way. They picked some berries for me and made that little crown for me. So yes, I have seen stuff like that, and there's stuff that I'm not comfortable talking about yet, but I will tell you this. So there's a big question about primates. If primates have any sentient, then then it's not morally. If they're sentient, they're people. If they're people, you can't put them in zoos anymore. And primatologists are having this argument to this day about chimpanzees, gorillas, and orangutans. And they have failed in that argument, obviously, because we still put chimpanzees, orangutans, and gorillas in zoos. There will be no such argument with the Sasquatch. None. So, and I have evidence that will ensure that never happens. No Sasquatches in zoos ever. If that ever happens, I'm protesting. I'm breaking them out of there. I'm going to go to jail for that. I won't tolerate it. I will not. I promise you, if they ever put a Sasquatch in a cage, in a zoo, I'm going to be jailed, busting them out. And I got a feeling there's going to be a lot of people that support me on this. I will go to jail. I will sledgehammer it down. I will go in there and I will bust them out of jail. That will not happen. It's not ethical. We can't do that. So, I won't allow it. Katie from Vegas, I agree. No one knows everything about Sasquatch, and until they step out and let us, which will not happen because humans kill everything that they feel is alpha, anything is possible. But remember, Luane, that's some humans, right? Some of us, there's a lot of good people out there. Don't discount the good people. And then Paul says, I disagree. Yes, they can swim, and Paul might be right. I've never seen, in the areas that I go to, the rivers are shallow. A Sasquatch could walk right across it. Just thinking here. So all the rivers I've ever seen, I don't want to name any names of the rivers that I'm around. They're shallow. I've never seen them around the North Saskatchewan River. Never seen any evidence of crossing a river that deep. That's in Alberta. The Columbia River, which is I'm very familiar with. Never seen them cross that, and I've never seen them cross the Kootenay River, which is near Radium. Never have I seen any tracks of them going across that river. But I think the Kootenay River, they could bash across there pretty well. And just take moments where they have to swim momentarily. But when it comes to lakes, I've never seen a Sasquatch around a lake. You know what? I'm not qualified to answer if Sasquatch can swim. So I'm entirely basing it on what I know about primates and their size. Nothing more. One thing Sasquatch do is shock me. And their feet are so big, maybe they use them as awesome paddles, right? And who's it said that again? Paul? So I'm glad you disagree with me, Paul. Paul might be, I hope you're right, Paul. But just my theory is no. But, and I've never seen a very credible sighting where someone was like, yeah, that it was a big Sasquatch and they were swimming. So, yet. And if there is a sighting like that, I'd love to hear about it. So, I'm going to be very skeptical about it though, guys, because man, if you ever saw gorillas in water, they are just like terrified of water. So, why would a Sasquatch do better in water than a gorilla or a chimpanzee? And the answer would be bigger hands, big feet for paddles. I just don't think it's going to be enough. I think they're going to sink like a stone. Well, let me tell you this. Something else I know about. I have my national lifeguard certificate. I took my bronze cross, bronze medallion, and I took my lifeguard, and I successfully completed the course when I was younger. I think I was about 19 years old when I got my national lifeguard certificate, and that works in United States, Australia, UK. It's entirely accepted across the whole anywhere that was like English speaking. Anyways, I almost failed that course because I was lean. I was so lean. There was one thing you had to do. You had to spread your arms out and take a deep breath and float, and I would sink like a stone every single time. Why? I had abs, like I had lower abs showing, riptosaurus. When I was 19, I was ripped to the bone, and I was muscular. I was good. At 19, I was 210 pounds, ripped, like 5% body fat, like too lean, especially when I was doing lifeguard because the endurance they were making me do those laps. My point is, I sunk like a stone. They almost failed me. They almost didn't give me my lifeguard. It's just because I was so PO'd angry and I protested so badly, because that's one of the requirements. You have to, I don't know if it's still like that. It was like that, 15 years ago when I took the course, but you had to float, and I could not float. And when you know about the wilderness in North America, there's no fat. You don't get fat from rabbits. The elk are lean as hell. The bison that used to be out here are lean. Like there's not a lot of fat. You don't get much fat. There's not much sugar in the berries. The berries are sour. So how do they get fat? I don't think they can. Bears get fat. That proved me wrong. And bears float really well. I just don't see fat Sasquatch. I don't see the weight in primates. Do gorillas get fat? Not in the wilderness. Chimpanzees are lean as hell. I never saw a fat orangutan. It's just when you get out into the wilderness and you're surviving in the wild, bears are very exceptional, very, very exceptional. But I just don't see that Sasquatch getting so fat. And then even if they did, I don't know, but bears can swim. So that might be an argument, but primates are just different. It's a very interesting topic, and we'll just debate it. I'm very happy that I have the con too, though. I need the cons. Be cons, guys. If you think I'm not correct about something, you say it. They can swim and fly. Justin Coleman. Oh man. Oh, that is so funny. They can swim, they can fly, and they can interdimensionally travel. I apologize if that wasn't meant to be funny, but I'm going to really disagree with you. They can't. I don't think they. I'm ruining my show here. Justin, you're killing me, Mr. Coleman. They can swim and fly. ... oh man. So Susan Ann, no matter how big we are, you can weightless in water. Ooh, fat floats, Suzanne. So you get these dudes that are riptosaurus. I didn't float. Not just ripped, but muscle. And maybe my bones are heavy. I don't know what it is, but I'm telling you, if I could have floated, they literally are telling me, you're failing this course. This is a core. You must do this to pass. And when the head lifeguard came out and said, okay, deep breath, and I mean, I would let go of the ledge and I would go down like a stone, like it wasn't even close. I would punk on the bottom. Reminded me of Wolverine in X-Men. Goes in the water, punk right to the bottom. Oh, not that bad, but I would go down, and I'd hit the bottom, boom, and I would stay there. So maybe saltwater is different. I don't know. This isn't a pool, but yeah. Who are we tonight? Asks Andy. I don't know. I'm Todd Standing tonight. Got some pictures I'd like you to see. Oh, Eli Jims, you got some pictures? Bigfootencounter@gmail.com. Amanda will put it up here. There it is right there. She's way ahead of me. I'm so far behind, I thought I was ahead. So if you just scroll down a little bit, Eli Jims, I love new photos and stuff. If you just go down to Cephisaurus, I shouldn't call her Amanda, I should call her Cephisaurus. She says, write us at bigfootencounter@gmail.com. I would love to see your new stuff. I'll put it up. If I like it, I'll put it in a video, and I'll do a breakdown, and Amanda will analyze it, and then other people will look at it, and you can get lots of attention that way. And, you know, especially if I feel your stuff is legit. Northwest Olympic says, yes, I got nothing. Have you met with Steve Isaldia yet? No, I don't. Haven't. Kevin, no one knows everything about anything. I agree. And these you know, these are my opinions based on my findings, based on my boots on the ground research, based on my scientific studies with primatologists. I just love gorillas. That's just my favorite. I just focus on gorillas. There's so much information about them. And I love Jane Goodall and her chimpanzee stuff, but it's just the similarities between gorillas and the Sasquatch are just really significant. So Paul says, no, but you do not think Superman can't swim. Okay, Tommy says, according to the BFRO, there has been eyewitness accounts of Bigfoot swimming to the smaller islands around British Columbia and in frog kick fashion. and would they be smart enough to grab a piece of wood and float? Yes. Tommy Boland, I changed my opinion in this show. I love it. When I was in Fort McMurray, I lived in Fort McMurray. We would go down the Snai. We'd grab a log and throw it in the river and float down the friggin' river. Of course Sasquatch are going to do that. So, of course Sasquatch are going to know about that. You know what? Yeah. I mean, of course they're going to do that. You're dealing with a highly intelligent species. So, I'm going to say that from now on. I wish but I have no evidence to substantiate that. But, yeah, can you imagine if a Sasquatch has grabbed a log and he could frog kick and swim like a beast? So, that's the way I would do it. And believe me, I learned that. I was 17 years old. I didn't have any money. So I take a log, I threw it in the Snai in Fort McMurray, and I'd go floating down the river. And I'd just be riding that log, woohoo, you know, until the end, till I hit the Athabasca and just about died because the water was so rocky, and then I'd swim to shore. And my friends and I would do that for fun when everybody else had boats and stuff, and I didn't have any money for anything, but I had more fun than the guys on the boats, I promise you that, floating down the river on a log. So, and a Sasquatch could just pick up a smaller piece of wood and hang on to it and float. So I would see that as happening. But just thoughts. I have no evidence to substantiate that at all. But I think they would be smart enough to do that for sure. They could see that logs are floating. Why not jump on a log? I just don't have that. I'm just not qualified to answer that question because I'm never around lakes. I'm going to a lake in a couple weeks. A gentleman that's definitely got Sasquatch up there. He's got the elk. He's got a beautiful lake. He's north, like beautiful north, gorgeous spot. He called me about his tree breaks. I'm like, man, those are Sasquatch tree breaks, like so significantly. He's coming on expedition. His name's James. And I'm really excited to have him come out this year. And he came to my house a couple weeks ago. I met him, and really cool guy. I'm really excited to have him part of the team. Sebastian Penn, Todd, do you think that because they're so close to Sasquatch, also get diseases like autism, dwarfism, Down syndrome? Wow. But survival of the fittest, right? I don't know. They wouldn't they? They should get autism. They should have dwarfism. You know, they can get angry. They could be happy. They could be, born. But they do live in survival of the fittest. What are the Sasquatch going to do? And I think the answer is going to have to be yes. But again, it's really so. But do we really propagate? Do dwarfs always been having babies? Do people with Down syndrome have babies? This is a way deeper question. It's going to need a lot more thought, but a very good topic of interest. And see, what intrigues me about that question is, so what if one did have Down syndrome? What if one was, had autism? Why wouldn't we see it? That's that's an argument in support of the people that say Sasquatch can't exist. So my answer to that would be family, family devoted, family loving, you know. So they're gonna have room for a weaker one potentially, but he's not gonna breed back in. There's going to be virtually no chance of that. So, but a very interesting question, and something I think just, yeah, it's going to happen, right? Humans have that, gorillas have that, chimpanzees have that. So yeah. Paul says they are more than animal. Oh, I couldn't agree with you. But again, I don't even like that topic, because we're animalia, we're mammals, we're primates. These are categories we're into. I just don't have any, they're hominids. So, there's no arguing. They're hominids. Jeff Meldrum calls them relic hominids. My team and I were calling them Homo americanus. Was my DNA study that I did. That's what we named them, is Homo americanus, the original indigenous American Homo sapien species. Or not Homo sapien, but just in that hominid species. Definitely hominid. No doubt about it. So totally agree with you, Paul, on that one. Definitely. I say hominid. Definitely hominid. Like, way out of that, you mean bipedal, upright, intelligent, highly intelligent, winter primate, it's, yeah. So Lisa says, I heard a witness reporting saying they saw Bigfoot hiding up in a tree. Great spot for surveillance. When you agree, or do you think they are too large? What are your thoughts, Todd? Well, yeah, like the young ones are going to get up trees like crazy. It's just, the thing is, in an eyewitness accounting, of course, there's going to be every kind of situation, but just to me, when a Sasquatch gets up a tree, he's going to see you coming. That's why he was up a tree. He's going to get the heck out of there before you ever come around. And the tree that they're going to choose is at high ground. So you're dealing with multiple levels of, he's at high ground, he's got high ground, he's at the highest tree at high ground, and he's going to see you coming miles away. So, but a lot of these sightings are Sasquatch that come into human areas, so, which is a whole other ball of wax. So, hey, SoCal Forest Ninjas, it doesn't make sense because they are way in front of humans. Not technologically, obviously, but that's a very, yeah, I understand what you're saying, SoCal Forest Ninja. I absolutely know exactly what you're saying. So they're not domesticated, right? Domestication syndrome. I did a whole video about it. Very few people saw it. It wasn't my more popular video, but learn about it. We are domesticated. We are part of an experiment that has really never happened before. And the Sasquatch are not. They're still a product of the wilderness. They're still a product of survival of fittest. They have never been domesticated. They've never been dumbed down. They've never been, worked in factories and created a society, this civilization that's very unhealthy. This is a terrible experiment. Terrible. And, and a lot of people are telling me now too, here's nature bumping back with the viruses. Man, has our world changed? Not for the better. This coronavirus, man, it's not changed. It doesn't matter what perspective, it doesn't matter what angle you look at it. If you're one of those people that stay at home and blah, 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 and then I know there's a lot of people that are like, get out there and get to work. I have a 7-year-old mom. The coronavirus would kill her. She is immunocompromised. She would not survive the coronavirus. So I'm quarantined and I'm not playing with it because I absolutely love my mom. And she's a wonderful, amazing person in my life. And she has a friend, a medical doctor who's he's just not going to make it. And he was a 60-year-old, really healthy man, a good friend of the family. And he's not going to make it. He lives in Vancouver. He's a medical doctor that lives in Vancouver. One of my mom's really good friends, a man who mentored me a lot in my life. He's definitely not going to survive. His lungs are horribly damaged. He's just a healthy, good, awesome man, 60 years old, a medical doctor that was out there fighting for the betterment of the world, and he's going to pass away. So this has affected my family, and I hear about it from fans all the time. So it's made horrific changes in our society. Can't argue that. And I'm not here to debate anything else because I understand both sides of it. But yeah, it is nature bumping back, right? And this isn't even, let's not talk about more Sasquatch. I think we need to introduce one topic at a time, investigate it, and sell it. If Nephilim or UFO orbs are mentioned in conjunction, we lose footing we may have gained with the public. I agree. Let's try to stick with, you know, fourth dimensional travelers. I totally agree. I mean, I'm a child of John Bendernago, Les Stroud, Jeff Meldrum. These are my mentors that you know about publicly. I have other scientists that have mentored me. My top mentor is from Great Falls, Montana, a biologist. But then my tracking teacher, his name was Muskwa, who passed away. But you know, but he wasn't into interdimensional traveling. He wasn't into Nephilim, nothing about UFOs. So his tracking abilities were he was very spiritual. He was very connected to the wilderness, and beautiful, beautiful things about him. And spirituality is, I don't know, it's very real. I mean, it's very important. Even if you're not a Christian or a Muslim or a Buddhist, there is spirituality. I'm a very spiritual person. I have my spiritual animal, legit, real spiritual animal. So I'm one of 5 people that I've ever met in my life that actually has a legit spiritual animal, that did a legit spiritual animal ritual and had the whole thing come together. Very spiritual, very, very real. I talked to Survivor Man. Survivor Man's a shaman. That guy is, he's at a level, people, I'll tell you. When I take other people up, hey, Lacey's on here. How's it going? Dwarven, I know Brazor's River. The happiest wife ever is a new expeditioner. I'm very excited to have her come out with me this year. So anyway, what was I just talking about? I forgot now. I just Survivor Man. I tell you, that guy. There's a damn good reason he had success on every freaking expedition, because the man is a shaman. He's spiritually, he's connected. He was doing a smoke ritual with the cameras and equipment, cleaning everything. I mean, he is like, I cannot express how incredible that man is. He is just absolutely amazingly brilliant. There's a reason 10 years of survival TV. There's a reason he was out there in Beyond Survival. Beyond Survival is one of the greatest TV show series I have ever seen in my life. He gave me a copy when I met him. I cherish it. I don't know if I ever got him to sign it. Next time I see him, I should get him to sign it. I cherish it. Beyond Survival is amazing, where he goes out and he meets the greatest survival experts that have ever lived in their own climate, and he's learning their ways before they're gone, because the world is changing. He's out there with the best of the best, and he's right in with them, and these people embrace him immediately. You know why? Because iron sharpens iron. That's how amazing Survivor Man. He's got a tattoo they did on him, you know, like a spirit. Like, man, he dug up dead bodies and buried them, and rituals, and the guy, you know, he goes out and he gets good success with Sasquatch because of that. Because he is that. Because even when you get around him, when I first met him, you know what? For one of the first times in my life, he's one of the biggest spiritual celebrities. Like, there's a lot of celebrities I've met that were kind of like shallow and not cool people. He's very deep. He's very spiritual. I tell you, I could feel him when I didn't even have to look to where he was. I could feel his presence in the room, and people go past him and look at him, and I don't think they knew he was Survivor. It's just something special, because people are watching him. People are thinking about him. The man has spiritual power. I hope you can understand this stuff. When I met him, it was like he was just a bright, shining beacon, and I wasn't starstruck meeting him. I didn't give him. I hadn't, you know. I knew very little about him. I learned about him. He gave me Beyond Survival. He and I had a relationship for about 1.5 years before we ever did the show. He had to work very hard to get me in the show. He actually had to get in there with some backstabbing cutthroats and do some crap to get the show going on. He just threw it on at the end. He said, hey, we'll do some I'll have some episodes at the end, but don't worry about them. Just don't worry about them. And then boom, he goes, oh, they're Bigfoot. Because the networks didn't want that, but he did it. And I'm honored that I got to work with him. He knows how to deal with the cutthroat, backstabbing executives. They're hard to deal with. And, you know, so that's all I have to say about that. But he's just awesome. He was such a great, incredible experience. Watch Survivor Man's videos. Listen to what Survivor Man has to say. He's an icon. He's changing the world for the better. I don't know what else to say about it. He's a hero of mine, and I'm just so honored that I know him and worked with him, and you know, that's what I have to say about that. So Oh, Barry, I'm so sorry. My thoughts are with you, Barry. Goodness, and all the people that have lost this. And Kevin, see, there we go. Oh my God. Condolences, gentlemen. It's really hard. Don't make me upset right now, please. I'll do some more questions. The show's almost over. Mason, Bigfoot, Todd is really not gonna do expeditions in the future. Why? And we'll see about that. It's not a guarantee, but I'll always do expeditions, but will I go out with new people in the public is not likely to happen. So, like Lacey is just so freaking fun. I just have so much fun talking to her. Lacey hasn't even gone on an expedition with me, and she's already my friend. Right now she's going, she's this awesome, cool Southern belle that's so fun, and right now she's getting right excited. We'll talk to this. Gosh, I'm having such a busy week, Lacey. I'm sorry I haven't been keeping up as well as I can with all my expeditions and stuff. Just my life is really crazy right now. I just have 5 million things going on, and it's been busy. So, Todd, have you heard the Sasquatch Ontario's audio recordings? I don't know. I don't know. It sounds very suspicious to me. But what do I know? A Sasquatch has never come in. The sounds that I heard from Ontario Sasquatch, if they are the sounds you're talking about, I've never heard a Sasquatch make any sound ever, anything like that. At the time when I first heard that, I was working on reserves with natives, and my tracker was listening. The best tracker I've ever, besides my teacher, the greatest tracker I've ever met. Listen to that. He's got a lot to do with Sasquatch. The natives all heard it, and they were like, never heard anything like that. That's all I know. Not to say it's not real, not to say it's not happening. I have never ever met anybody that ever has heard a Sasquatch do that. So that's all I have to say about that. I don't know if they're legit or not. Who am I to say? I don't know. And one more question. Lisa, wish I had the guts to go out in the bush with you, Todd, but to be honest, having the 8+ Sasquatch tracking me in the woods is terrifying. Can't imagine the adrenaline rush you get. Yeah, it's I grill my expeditioners, right? It's hard. As scary as you think it's going to be, it's just going to be. They just do that. They're dominating. They're giants. They're So what gives me reconciliation is they could have. The fact is, if they wanted me gone, I'm gone. The fact is, they're clearly interacting with me. They're clearly accepting of me. I have a good relationship with the radium Sasquatch. It's just very clear to me. I had a good relationship with the Nordic Sasquatch. So, I'm not going back to that California spot. I don't have a good relationship with them at all. I think they would harm me. So, wouldn't gorillas terrify you? Being around 400-pound primates? I don't know, 5 feet tall, but man, that'd be scary too. People are getting it done. People are getting it done. There's a lot of people getting it done. I'm really proud of all of us for doing what we do. Again, I want to dedicate the show to the men and women that are out there doing this research for what they do and the crap that they go through and how hard it is. I'm there with you, and very fortunate because of you guys. I am a full-time Sasquatch researcher. I am a full-time Sasquatch researcher. This is my life. This is what I do. So thank you very much. Barry Holmes again. Since Barry's having a hard time, I'll just see what he has to say here real quick. Barry Holmes, if somebody else stumbled upon the troop at Radium, do you think they would react the same way to them as they do to you? That'll be the last question. So if somebody else came along in Radium, so now I'm out there in Radium, so let's think about this. This is not an easy answer, and I like this question. Okay, so I'm habituating them. They're interested in me. There's a hunting guide that goes out there that's known them longer than me. He goes out there and shoots elk. There have been people that have been hiking in that area, backcountry, longer than me. I think they're going to judge people based on each individual, because you know what? They know people are crazy. They know human beings are. This is the way I feel that the Radium Sasquatch are. They know people are crazy. Most people are lunatics. They tolerate me and they deal with me because I'm tolerably crazy. Does that make sense? I'm less insane to them. And I think what they see is maybe some hope in me, some hope because I am a tracker, because I do love nature, and we have that in common. So anybody who comes out there and loves nature and is beautiful and gentle and caring and passionate, I think they're going to be attracted to them. And maybe they'll be more attracted to them because maybe they know that since I have hope, maybe this other person has hope. So I really see the whole picture of it as no matter what, it's good and good. The good that I do creates more good because I just don't think you can go out there with a rifle and be a douchebag. I can say douchebag. Be a jerk, be a closed-minded jerk off and go hunt them. They're going to see right through it. It's not going to get you anywhere. You're going to fail. I mean, it's becoming so clear to me. You have no idea. People that I thought were good people, and the Sasquatch weren't coming around them. I did all this work with them, and then suddenly this guy turned out to be he showed his true colors, and they were not good. They were ugly. I was like, no wonder the Sasquatch wouldn't come around. They're seeing things immediately that it's taking time for me to figure out. So I have a lot of faith. Remember, they're my teachers. They're the masters. I am not the master of the wilderness. They're the masters out there, and I have a lot of faith in them being smart enough to pick up these things and figuring it out. So Central Michigan Bigfoot says, don't forget to hit the like button. That's cool. If you like it, do hit the like button. Thank you very much. And you guys hit me up on Facebook. If you had a great question today, it didn't get answered, just come back next week. We'll get to it. Or you can email stuff. And if you have great questions, if you have something important that you want to say, just email Amanda. That wonderful lady is a hard-working, awesome chick. And if she gets overwhelmed, we're going to get her some help. So, questions and stuff, send it to Amanda. Amanda's also on Facebook, guys. So, friend her on Facebook. I don't know if Amanda, if you want to put your name up here one of these days, so you say who you are on Facebook. But I put, if you're on Facebook, and I put Amanda's posts up every couple weeks, I put some of her posts up. You'll see it. She was doing some Sasquatch tracks, and she has her feet by Sasquatch tracks. Amanda is awesome. Amanda and Phil and all the people that help out, I'm so grateful for you guys. Thank you so much. Y'all take care. And I just said give Amanda extra accommodations. And I do. She's amazing. We should all be very grateful for her. Why do you do it, Amanda? I don't question it. And that's awesome. So, and thanks for tuning in, Lacey. And you guys all take care. And, heart goes out to everybody having problems out there. It's a hard time. And I'm out there in the trenches with you guys. It's hard. So, endure. And my heart goes out to anybody having problems. Y'all take care. I'll see you next week. And there'll be Throwback Thursday tomorrow. And I'm working on my Sasquatch Sunday. You guys are awesome, awesome, awesome.